We have some answers to go through then on ethical and social cultural issues in sport. The first question was identify one reason for deviance in sport. Now, we've obviously gone through positive and negative deviance. If you see the word deviance on its own in an exam question, it's safe to assume they're talking about negative deviance. So going against the norms of sport by breaking the rules. So, for example, fouling someone deliberately in a game of football. So there's lots of reasons. It's only a 1 mark question, but if you put any of these, you could get the mark. So if you said to enhance performance, so for example, taking performance enhancing drugs in order to improve your performance is a type of deviance. Because you are losing, so you might be frustrated at losing in a game of rugby and put in a high tackle, which would be deviance. To gain a financial reward because you're absolutely desperate to win, so you might cheat within sport. A bit of a strange one, this one, but spectators might copy performer deviance. A reaction to a poor decision by officials. So again, you might become frustrated by a foul given by an official, and that might mean that you retaliate and push someone, which is the next answer as well. Retaliation or revenge. Copying others. So if you see a role model being deviant, then you might copy them. You might see a footballer make a foul on TV and you go and copy them in your next game. Or again, you might have said as a result of taking performance-enhancing drugs. B was give 2 different practical examples of gamesmanship using a different sport for each one. So 2 marks for 2 different types of gamesmanship. Lots of answers you could have given. You could have said a footballer diving to claim a foul. So that's a type of gamesmanship. I mean, you could even say that was cheating, but it's in the mark scheme there as a type of gamesmanship and bending the rules. Again, the next answer, a little bit strange to me, but it's in the mark scheme. A netball player holding her opponent. You would think that was blatant deviance and cheating, but they've got it down as gamesmanship here. I suppose it's bending the rules a little bit and you might get away with it. A tennis player delaying the serve, that's definitely a type of deviance. It's sort of bending the rules a little bit to put off their opponent by delaying the service. A sprinter distracting another competitor. It's not cheating, but it's not very ethical, so it's gamesmanship. Or moving the ball a little bit closer to the post when taking a penalty kick in rugby. You might have also said time wasting. If you'd said time wasting in any sport, such as football, taking the ball to the corner or delaying throwing the ball back into play during a game of netball, then that would be okay as well. It even says here that examples must be from 2 different sports, but they can be the same type of gamesmanship, e.g. time wasting. So if you use time wasting from 2 different sports and gave examples, then that would be okay for 2 marks. Describe one practical example of sportsmanship. So lots to choose from. Probably the most popular answer would be shaking hands at the end of a game, or you might have given an example from football, netball, cricket, tennis, whatever it is. Stopping if someone is injured in football. So 2 and 3 are very similar here, kicking the ball out of play. So in football, it's sort of customary. If someone's down injured, you kick the ball out of play so that they can get treatment. So that's good sportsmanship. Congratulating your opponent during or after a match. So in tennis, if your opponent plays a good shot, you might say well done or give them a quick clap. Not celebrating much if winning or scoring, so not going over the top in netball, football, hockey, rugby if you score a goal or a try. A tennis player giving time to their opponent if injured, so you often see that one at Wimbledon or on the TV. An opponent allows the trainer to come on and treat the person that they are playing against. And walking when out in cricket. So in cricket, you might edge the ball and it gets caught by the wicketkeeper behind, and you don't wait for the umpire's decision. You know you've hit the ball, so you walk. Describe 2 reasons why a player in a team sport might be violent. So 2 marks, 1 for each. We could have said there is frustration as a result of losing. So we all know that feeling when you're losing a game and you're frustrated, and it might bring out a violent side. As physical retaliation, as a reaction to a challenge or a tackle. So in rugby, if you had a high tackle on you, you might then stand up and retaliate and push somebody, for example. Over arousal during the game, so you could be really hyped up for a game in football, for example, and go over the top and put in a foul in the first minute of the match. Annoyed by poor decisions by officials, so that's rather than being frustrated at losing, it's frustrated by the officials or the referee. To gain an advantage, to hurt your opponent. So in some sports, you might go out to actually hurt someone in order to gain an advantage, and that would obviously be violent behaviour and not very ethical. Taunting from the crowd or the opponent. So if a crowd is constantly taunting you, you might become violent. And controlled aggression may be required for effective play. So we could link it to violence, to controlled aggression in boxing or rugby or a contact sport. Or finally, it could be as a result of the influence of drugs. So there's a drug called stimulants, for example, which make you very hyped up, and that could result in you becoming violent. Identify one effect that beta blockers may have on a performer in sport which could aid their performance. So 1 mark, beta blockers are used to lower your heart rate. So if you put lower your heart rate, that's enough for a mark. But as a result of that, it helps with your control, it calms you down, it relaxes you. Therefore, you're controlling your anxiety and your arousal. Adrenaline's reduced, concentration and focus are improved. And if you'd linked it to a component of fitness, the component of fitness coordination, and said your coordination improves because you're calmer, then that would be okay as well. And last question, identify one reason why a sports performer might use anabolic steroids. So anabolic steroids are used predominantly for muscle growth or to increase your muscle strength, so the size, growth, strength of your muscles. And they also enable you, point 6 here, to train harder and to recover quicker. So you can go to the gym, you're going to recover really quickly, and then you go and train again. So you're going to get stronger and bigger as a result of that as well. But you might also take them to make your bones stronger, to lower body fat, to improve body image or body shape, or even to increase aggression. So if you put any of those 6, then you can give yourself 1 mark.